All right, so how do you become the unexpected winner of the AI revolution? I mean, really? The dark horse? Well, for Oracle's Larry Ellison, it's a wild story. It's about completely missing one massive tech boom, only to quietly set himself up to basically rule the next one from behind the curtain. So, how on earth did a tech giant that totally fumbled the last big wave get in position to ride this one? Let's get into it.
$100 billion. That's the mind-boggling amount Larry Ellison's net worth shot up in a single day. I mean, it was a record-breaking leap that, just for a moment, made him the richest person on the entire planet.
But here's where it gets kind of weird. Oracle, his company, they don't build the big AI models like ChatGPT, and they don't make those super specialized chips that power everything like NVIDIA does. So that brings us to the central mystery here. How is that even possible? To figure that out, we have to look at the one single deal that sent Oracle's value just rocketing into the stratosphere. And here it is. On September 10th, OpenAI, the folks who made ChatGPT, and Oracle announced this monster contract. We are talking $300 billion for cloud infrastructure. The market, of course, reacted immediately, and Oracle's stock just went completely vertical. So what does Oracle actually do in all this? Well, you can think of them as a very big, very complicated, and turns out a very lucrative middleman. They own these colossal data centers, and they rent out everything: the space, the power, the cooling, all the stuff an AI company like OpenAI needs to run its models. So while NVIDIA provides the brains, Oracle is basically providing the home for those brains. Now, what makes this whole story so fascinating is that, for a lot of people, Oracle's success here came totally out of nowhere. To understand why, we've got to go back in time. Because, believe it or not, Oracle completely, totally missed the last major tech revolution. Yeah, this timeline really says it all. Amazon Web Services, AWS, launched way back in 2006, and they literally created the entire cloud industry. But for years, Oracle's founder, Larry Ellison, he was a huge skeptic. It wasn't until 2012, long after the race had already started, that Oracle finally decided to get in the game, putting them far, far behind everyone else. And you really got to hear this quote to understand his mindset back then. In 2008, he called cloud computing gibberish and insane. He even compared it to women's fashion trends. He just flat out did not believe the hype. And looking back, that was a massive strategic blunder, one that was going to cost his company big time. And you can see the result of that mistake right here. This chart, it paints a pretty stark picture. While AWS revenue just skyrocketed, Oracle's was completely flat. They weren't just a little behind, they were being left in the dust. Ellison knew he had to do something, and do it fast. But see, after missing one huge tech revolution, Ellison was absolutely determined not to miss the next one. And this is where he makes this enormous strategic pivot that would set the stage for Oracle's unbelievable comeback. So this is the crucial part, what he did next. In 2014, Ellison steps down as CEO, but he's not retiring, no way. He takes on these new roles, Chief Technology Officer and Executive Chairman. This let him step away from the day-to-day grind and focus completely on the future. And then he poured billions into R&D. And all that research led to this: bare metal infrastructure. See, instead of trying to compete head-to-head with AWS on general cloud stuff for everybody, Oracle decided to specialize. They focused on building a system that gave customers direct access to the physical servers, offering the absolute maximum power for really demanding jobs. Jobs like, you guessed it, training in AI. Now, check out the date on this press release. This is from 2018. That's 4 full years before ChatGPT took the world by storm. Oracle was already designing its new cloud specifically for large-scale GPU workloads, such as AI and deep learning. They weren't reacting. They were playing the long game. And that quiet, long-term gamble, well, it is now paying off in the most spectacular way, turning Oracle into an absolutely essential, behind-the-scenes kingmaker of the entire AI industry. So why exactly did Ellison's net worth jump by that $100 billion? It all comes down to equity. I mean, NVIDIA's founder, Jensen Huang, he owns about 3% of his company. Mark Zuckerberg owns an impressive 13% of Meta. But Larry Ellison, he's on a whole other level. He still owns a massive 42% of Oracle. So when that stock surged, his personal fortune just exploded with it.
Okay, but here's the thing. There is a huge catch to this whole story. That $300 billion deal, it is not cash upfront, not even close. It's what's known as an RPO, or a remaining performance obligation. It's basically a promise of future revenue. It's going to be spread out over 5 years, and it doesn't even start until 2027. So you see what's happening? This is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward bet. Oracle is spending billions of dollars right now on the promise of getting paid back years down the road.
And to even have a prayer of fulfilling these AI contracts, Oracle has to build out its infrastructure on a scale that is just hard to imagine. They're expected to need 4.5 gigawatts of power. Just to put that number into perspective for you, that is more power than 2 Hoover dams can generate. It's enough to power 4 million homes. It's a colossal undertaking that just shows you the sheer physical scale of the investment needed to power this AI revolution. All of this, it just raises a much, much bigger question, right? Oracle isn't the only one betting the farm here. The entire industry is pouring astronomical sums of money into AI. So, are we just in a massive bubble? I mean, just look at these numbers. NVIDIA is investing $500 billion. Total AI investment is expected to hit $200 billion next year alone. And spending on data centers could hit $3 trillion by 2028. We are, without a doubt, in the middle of a historic gold rush. But here is the disconnect. While all the analysts are expecting big tech to add hundreds of billions in new revenue, the reality on the ground looks a little different. An MIT study found that only 5% of companies are actually seeing significant revenue growth from AI. For most of them, the return on that investment, it's just not there. Not yet, anyway. And get this. This is a quote from Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the very guy who signed that $300 billion deal with Oracle. Even he admits that investors are probably, and I quote, overexcited about AI right now. Which leaves us with the ultimate question. Are we just watching the inflation of a massive, overvalued bubble that's about to pop? Or are we truly at the dawn of a new technological revolution, where these huge bets, like the one Larry Ellison is making, are going to completely reshape our world? For now, it's a very, very good time to be Larry Ellison. But whether this is a bubble or a revolution, well, that story is still being written.